You know, even before the season started, there was a strange energy surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers, and it had nothing to do with lineups, rotations, or tactical adjustments. The real conversation, the one that dominated social media, podcasts, preseason debates, and even barbershop discussions, was this: who truly belongs in the future of this franchise? And who is simply filling space until the team inevitably moves on? Because even after the roster changes, the new additions, and the attempts to reshape the team's identity, the truth is simple. Many players began this season under pressure. Pressure to perform. Pressure to stay healthy. Pressure to finally prove they can be part of a winning core. And this uncertainty wasn't limited to the rookies. DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Jake LaRavia arrived with high expectations surrounding their names. Expectations that had been dashed, roles that had been questioned, and careers that needed to be redefined. Ayton needed to prove he could dominate again. Smart needed to show he could still positively impact wins at the highest defensive level. And LaRavia needed to prove, once and for all, that he could survive in the NBA. But something unexpected happened. Instead of becoming obvious trade targets, the three began to fit together. Not perfectly, not explosively, but purposefully. With identity. With the feeling that maybe, just maybe, they should be there. And they weren't the only ones. Rui Hachimura, who months ago was casually mentioned in almost every Lakers trade rumor, is playing the best basketball of his career. Efficient, confident, consistent. A reliable third or fourth scoring option who finally seems like a key piece. Austin Reaves? The conversation around him has completely transformed. From maybe he's tradable to he's part of the long-term plan. His scoring, his playmaking ability, his composure, everything has improved. He's become too important, too stable, too impactful for us to even imagine a trade. When you look at this version of the Lakers, it's obvious. Many players have earned their place. Many players have exceeded expectations. Many players have become indispensable for trades. But not all. Because while some players have risen, others have remained exactly where they were. Or worse, they've fallen behind. And at this point in the season, there are three names that have become undeniably disposable. Not because they are bad people, not because they don't know how to play, but because they don't fit into the present, they don't shape the future, and they don't make a difference. And those names are Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Dalton Knecht. Three completely different stories, all converging on the same destiny. Gabe Vincent arrived with playoff experience and the grit of the Heat culture, but never found his place on the court. Injury after injury. Setback after setback. No rhythm, no momentum, no contributions. What could have been a valuable rotation point guard became a gap in the roster. Maxi Kleber is perhaps the most frustrating case, because every time he seems close to returning, another injury appears out of nowhere. His shooting could help, his spacing could make the difference, but availability is part of being valuable. And at the moment, availability simply isn't on his resume. And then we have Dalton Knecht, perhaps the most difficult case of all. A rookie who needed to show flashes of talent quickly. A shooter who needed to make his shots. A prospect who needed, at the very least, to contribute something on defense. Instead, none of that happened. He doesn't defend well. He doesn't create plays well. And his three-point shot, the only thing he should bring, has been inconsistent at best. In the NBA, when a player relies on outside shooting to survive, but the shots don't fall, the rest crumbles along with it. And the situation gets even more complicated when you look at the money. Together, Vincent, Kleber, and Knecht add up to more than $25 million in salaries. $25 million combined with draft picks could bring back a key piece to the rotation, a playoff player, a game changer, and suddenly the conversation changes. It's no longer about disappointment. It's no longer about injuries. It's no longer about potential. It's about opportunity. It's about timing. It's about maximizing a roster that, for the first time in years, finally seems connected, cohesive, and structured. The Lakers have a first-round pick they can trade. They have multiple trade options. They have second-round picks. They have a trade package right in front of them, clear, obvious, and perfectly structured. Which leads us to the inevitable per se. An entity doesn't destroy itself. It expands, it strengthens, it rises. And Vincent, Kleber, and Knecht aren't rising right now. What they can do, however, is pave the way for mid-season improvement. A taller, defensively sound power forward, a true 3 and D power forward, a secondary point guard, a scorer off the bench who can decide a game in the playoffs. Not an all-star, but a high-impact, high-value player. Exactly the kind of player title contenders steal at the trade deadline. Names like Andrew Wiggins, Jerami Grant, Bruce Brown, or even more realistic targets, Dorian Finney-Smith, Kelly Oubre, Royce O'Neal, or a veteran point guard. The question isn't who. The question is that the package exists. The Lakers have 3 expendable players, 3 expiring contracts, 3 pieces they don't need for the playoffs, 3 pieces that, combined, could bring back someone who truly makes a difference. And this is where the story gets dramatic. The question is no longer if they will be traded. The question is when. It could be in 2 weeks. It could be at the trade deadline. It could be triggered by another team's collapse or the unexpected availability of a star or a franchise unexpectedly hitting the reset button. But looking at the current roster, looking at how well the team is playing, looking at the identity they've built, it seems almost impossible to believe that these 3 will be on the roster when the playoffs begin. This isn't personal. This isn't emotional. This is the NBA. When a team finds a good moment, the front office has a responsibility to reinforce it, not interrupt it. Add to what works. Remove what doesn't. And now, everything points to the same conclusion. Vincent, Kleber, Knecht. The obvious trade trio. The obvious exit package. The obvious path for the Lakers to level up. Now it's your turn. Do you agree that these 3 are the most obvious trade pieces? Do you think someone else should be included? Or do you believe one of them deserves more time before being traded? Leave your opinion in the comments.